Alright, welcome back to episode 2 of my 2-day trip as a data analyst. If you haven't watched episode 1, I'll link it up here somewhere. I'd recommend watching that before checking out this video to make sense of what's going on. On day 1, I got to the hotel early in the morning to check in. I headed over to the venue to present. I attended an artificial intelligence conference in the afternoon before taking some time to relax at the hotel, after which I had a dinner appointment, and that's about where we left off in episode 1. Let's get back into the video. Alright, so I've taken a shower. I'm just going to eat this, and I just realized these guys have a 24-hour gym, so after eating this maybe we'll go check that out. But first, I'm starving. Alright, that is all finished. That was very much needed. I'm just going to iron my shirt and trouser for tomorrow, and then shall we head to the gym? Check it out. It's supposedly, apparently, the gym's open 24 hours, so I might go and check it out. So the first thing, I just need to iron my clothes for tomorrow, so I'm gonna do that. Now, I didn't get much sleep that night. I ordered those loaded fries at around, I think, 1 or 2 a.m. because I was absolutely starving. The dinner was nice, but wasn't the most filling. And ultimately, I went to sleep about around 3 a.m. So, going into day 2, my day started with a morning breakfast appointment. I was sent by my manager to meet with some regulators over breakfast and speak with them about how the tool and software could possibly be used for some of their use cases and what sort of data they would need, etc. Alright, so it's now day 2. It's 7 a.m. As you can probably tell, I'm still half asleep. And it's raining outside, so that's great. But right now I've got a breakfast appointment. Well, not right now, but before the day starts, I've got a breakfast appointment. So I'm going to shower, get ready, and head down to that. Let's go. Alright, we're all ready for this breakfast appointment. It was raining before, the sun's come out, but I'm going to head down and have some breakfast, and then we'll get on with the day. Now, initially, all the data I'd input into the software was based around our private client use cases and needs. There are a number of private clients the software was catered towards, but there'd also been some interest from some public sector regulators who had wanted a meeting to better understand the software, its capabilities, the scope and potential of the toolkit, and to see if we could create different versions of the software for their specific data. Now, that would be quite a lot of work, but I decided ultimately in that meeting that it would be possible, that we would be able to take the software we had, tweak the ingestion data and make it into a bespoke set of toolkits for the regulatory bodies whom I was speaking with. Now, when you're making a decision like that, it's important to understand your client and work within their limitations. Them being regulatory or public sector bodies means they often don't have the extensive budget that a private client might have. You also have to consider their expectations. Do they expect to receive a fully bespoke software catered entirely towards them? Do they want it integrated into an existing tool they already use as a plugin, perhaps? They also have to work with different guardrails than private sector companies might. And when you're making a decision like that, you have to weigh up all of the outcomes based on every individual case. For example, is it worth the time and effort? If you were to take this on, do you have enough time and resource to maintain the original project deadline or timeline? Because if I was to sign off on this offshoot of the project, we wouldn't be able to delay or extend the original main project deadline, since that was the priority, so we'd have to stick to that and complete all of the additional work as well. Like I said, I decided it was possible. It would take some extra legwork and tweaking, but from what I was able to understand, we weren't being asked to constantly update or create an intricate deployment schedule. It would be fairly straightforward and efficient. At least that's the idea. So that's what the breakfast appointment was about. Alright, we are back from the breakfast appointment and it's now 9:30, so I need to head over to the conference venue and get started with these presentations and workshops. After today, I've got an open return ticket. I'll probably head home around 5:30. Hopefully, if I can get out the conference centre on time. It'll take 2 hours to get back home to London, and then another hour on the underground getting back home. So hopefully home by 8, 9, between 8 and 9. Hopefully there's no delays, no travel disruption. That would be a nightmare. Didn't really sleep too much. Didn't sleep too well. My Apple Watch said I slept for 3 hours 52 minutes. Now here's a pro tip. If you're ever at a hotel and their breakfast coffee is really good, ask them if they have a travel mug or travel cup and fill it with their coffee. The venue has coffee, but yesterday it wasn't the best. So now I'm just gonna grab all my stuff. I'm gonna head downstairs. I'm gonna check out and head over to the conference center. And then I'll probably check in with you guys when I'm back home, because I can't film anything I'm doing there, so goodbye. Let's go. Let's head out. Now this type of project combines so many different domains. It doesn't just include data analysis. It doesn't just focus on data analysis. There are aspects of data engineering where you have to create SQL warehouses, create semantic models and implement data flows to connect different systems. There's the software engineering and programming side of things, where I was writing the code for the back end of the software itself. And there's also the data analytics part of creating the software, where you're cleaning and extracting and transforming the data that will ultimately be ingested into the software. And we were lucky enough to be able to outsource some of those responsibilities to specialist teams. But since you're running the project and you don't have those teams forever, you only have a certain number of hours allotted for the teams, the specialist teams, external specialist teams to help you. You have to understand and know how to take it over at any point, and you have to understand everything from the ground up, essentially. After the breakfast appointment, I headed down to the hotel lobby where the team met up for a rendezvous before we all headed back to the conference center. On day 2, we had a presentation from a university professor about financial reporting standards. Since I work with a lot of financial data, sometimes I have to take financial information for a company directly from a company's annual report. Financial reporting standards affect the ways in which companies report all of their financial parameters on their balance sheet, profit and loss accounts, and income statement. But again, majority of the day was taken up with a hybrid of a workshop style, presentation style mix of deploying the software to the clients, helping them out, hovering around, helping them out. And since the project, like I said, it's still live. So we were taking on any advice or any additional work we could do for the clients. At the end of the day, around about 6 p.m, once everyone had left, the team gathered together and spent about 45 minutes to about an hour consolidating the entire trip, the 2-day sprints, and we also planned out the next steps we'd have to take over the coming months, over the next, I believe, 6 months till the project end date. Along with that planning, we also accommodated for the extra bits of work we'd have to do for the regulators with whom I'd met in the morning. And that was the end of the trip. We all went back to the station and headed back to London. I remember getting home around about 9 p.m. and it was straight into work the next day. So there you have it, my most recent trip as a data analyst. Now I've had quite a few more trips, but I haven't been able to film them like I did with this one. If you'd like some insight or some stories on how they were, what we worked on, and the types of clients I had to deal with, let me know down below and I'll be sure to make a video on those. This was overall an interesting trip. It's always interesting to be able to see other people's reactions to something you've been working on for so long. Now the aim is to be able to have a constant feedback loop with the clients, keep questioning them and asking them to provide direct feedback, because that'll ultimately make for a much more complete and polished end product. This was almost a trial run, a dry run, a demonstration perhaps of what the project has come to so far. And like I said, lots of different aspects: data analysis, programming, software engineering, data engineering, project management even. I forgot to mention that there was a lot of project management. It encompassed so many different varying skills, and this is a project that's really good to put on your CV. And also it was a good project because it's good to have a break from the daily data analysis tasks I have to do. If you haven't seen episode 1, I'm going to link it somewhere here and in the description below. I definitely recommend giving that a watch. It's probably one of my best intros for any video I've ever done. And there you have it. That's all for this video. I hope this video was useful. If it was, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know what other content you'd like to see from me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.